Welcome to today's deep dive. Our mission today is to explore an article on biophilic space design and, really uncover why bringing nature into our workspaces is no longer just some, aesthetic choice.
Right. It's definitely not.
Yeah, it's basically a modern survival strategy for office workers at this point.
Absolutely.
And I'm just so endlessly curious about how our physical environment completely dictates our mental health and productivity. Like, we treat our workdays like a machine we can just program with rigid calendar blocks.
Oh, yeah, those strict 30-minute intervals?
Right? But human biology doesn't run on code.
Right.
We drop our Paleolithic brains into these sterile concrete boxes, demand maximum output, and then wonder why we're burning out.
Yeah, well, and the modern workload is just completely unsuited for those brains anyway. I mean, why we need this design trend so urgently right now is because artificial intelligence and modern software have eliminated all the routine tasks.
Oh, right.
The basic filing, data entry, the stuff that historically gave our minds little micro breaks throughout the day.
Yeah, the source had that really striking point, that work is now just efficiency in top gear all the time. Like, we've removed the mundane friction, but we've erased all the recovery time.
Exactly. And because of that relentless cognitive load, human brains desperately need surroundings that actively help us recover and gather new energy. We're basically constantly sprinting mentally.
Right. Okay,
So
let's
from-
unpack this, though, because if we need recovery, how exactly does the physical space provide it? I mean, isn't biophilic design just, throwing a sad fern in a reception area corner?
Right, the classic potted plant solution.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Lene Becker Bang, the CEO of LAIKA Space Design, actually clarifies this really well in the source. It is a strategic approach. It's not just a plant in a corner.
Okay.
It's about using natural light, fresh air, eco-friendly materials, and importantly, organic shapes.
Organic shape.
Yeah, it's about intuitive orientation. Our nervous systems evolved over, millennia to scan for predators. So sharp, rigid squares and harsh fluorescent lights trigger this subconscious alertness.
Because those environments don't exist in nature.
Exactly.
Wow, that makes a lot of sense. And, speaking of evolution, the source had this brilliant Kellogg's analogy used by Bang.
Oh, I love that part.
Yeah, she asked, have you forgotten how good it tastes?
Yes.
Highlighting that we've simply forgotten how much we humans, intrinsically thrive in natural surroundings.
We really have. We just accept the concrete boxes.
But I have to play devil's advocate for a second here.
Sure.
This sounds great emotionally, but does it actually translate to better work? What's the hard data on this? Because if I'm under a massive deadline, a wavy rug isn't going to write my report.
That's fair. But the hard data is actually super compelling. It proves real biological and operational impact.
Okay, let's hear it.
So when you introduce these biomorphic shapes patterns that mimic leaves or water, it signals to the amygdala that the environment is safe.
Right.
And that physical signal actively halts the production of cortisol, which is our stress hormone. In these spaces, cortisol drops by up to 16%.
Wait, really? 16% just from changing the geometry of the room?
Just from the environment, yeah. And the cognitive benefits scale from there.
Yeah.
Creative problem solving jumps by up to 50%.
Wow, 50, that's massive.
Yes. Plus, employees report a 13% increase in general well-being, and actual measurable productivity rises by 8%.
Okay, so it literally pays for itself.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The environment basically absorbs that cognitive friction, so the brain can focus on complex tasks instead of, background threat scanning.
That's wild. But how can a listener actually apply this if they can't afford to build an indoor waterfall in their small, average office?
Right, you definitely don't need a massive budget. The source details some really practical solutions that rely on sensory cues.
I'm taking notes.
So first, use organic biomorphic shapes instead of rigid squares. Swap out standard square tiles for wavy, textured rugs.
Okay, wavy rugs.
Yeah, and hang light, transparent curtains that catch subtle air currents. Bring in tactile surfaces like raw wood or stone instead of polished synthetic laminates.
Oh, so you're mimicking the sensory inputs of nature.
Exactly. The textures, the unpredictable movement. And another big one is staging daylight and plant shadows.
Shadows.
Yeah, it makes nature an experienced quality, not just something static on a desk. Watching shadows shift across a wall throughout the day anchors our circadian rhythm.
Oh, wow.
It tells our biology what time it is, keeping our internal systems synchronized.
Without us ever having to look at a clock.
Exactly.
Oh, I love that. So adjusting your workspace really isn't a luxury perk or some aesthetic choice. It's a vital, functional tool to handle the sheer cognitive demand of modern work.
It really is. The body reads and understands the room long before the conscious mind even registers it.
Well, I want to leave everyone with a final provocative thought to mull over today. Think back to that perfectly optimized, rigid digital calendar we started with. If our bodies intuitively recognize and physically relax in these natural, organic spaces, what does our extremely high tolerance for sterile, square, fluorescent-lit buildings say about how deeply detached we've become from our own biological operating systems?